Hello, my name is Alexander Morar, and I'm the founder of ITKeyMedia. You've tuned to our ITKeyMedia podcast about Central and Eastern European startups that are in pre-Series A stage. Our guest tonight is Antek Wędzikowski, the co-founder of Pergamin. And Pergamin is a SaaS platform which supports the entire lifecycle of contracts and other legal documents. Hello, Antek.
Hi, nice to hear you. Nice to meet you. And thank you for your invitation.
Yeah. Let's hope you will like it after we finish as well. Would you call your company as a SaaS platform for legal tech? And if yes, what do you think about the current state of things in legal tech?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question because we are very often called legal tech solution. However, legal tech is a very narrow market and a very niche situation in our perspective. Because to be totally honest, our clients are mostly not lawyers, but for example, people who work in HR department or sales department, and it's because contracts, those contracts that we automate are mostly routine contracts, self-serve contracts, and they are used by people who do business. So there is not a lot of legal work, legal department engagement in the process. Usually it works like this. Legal department accepts our solution, prepares templates, yes, for the self-serving part, and then Pergamin is used mostly by people like, I said before, from HR or sales.
Which means your target use cases are much wider and much more numerous than just legal tech. So basically, it's what you could call this as like business tech. Any business goes through some agreements or contracts, and big part of the contracts is repeated, basically, right?
Yes, you can say that it's around 90% of contracts are contracts that are routine and can be automated by using like data-driven solutions like ours. And when it comes to legal tech, because it's so narrow, then we don't want to focus only on this part of the market. And the expectations from the legal part and from the legal departments are very often much different than the expectations from the people in business. Yeah, so lawyers have their own view on the process, and they want more functionalities that are very specific but are not really scalable in other circumstances.
Yeah, so clear, interesting. So you now explained that your target is a bit like wider than pure legal tech, and again, this is for repeatable lawyer approved documents. Okay. Yes, Antek, great. So with this in mind, let's get back to the scenario and go to round one, the solution. How would you describe your solution?
Pergamin is a platform for data-driven contract management, and what we do specifically is, so to say, we turn your contracts from unstructured data like paper or PDFs into structured data like JSON, which enables more automation, more knowledge, and more data about the process and about the documents.
Interesting, but you don't mean that it enables quicker, easier signing of the documents. This is not what you provide, basically. Not only signing, but much more behind that. And you mean, I understand, extraction of data into other platforms or CRM systems and so on, right?
So for example, you can imagine that you have a CRM system or a booking system in which you input your contractor's data, and it integrates with our solution, and it creates the contract on the fly and then it sends it for your signature automatically. So basically, we are not electronic signature tool, because there are many electronic signature tools, and they work mostly based on PDFs, which are like, it's just like a piece of paper that's digitalized, but it's like flat. So if you compare PDF to, for example, JSON, which we use for our contracts, it's like PDF is, for example, a painting, and JSON is like a TV screen. Yeah, so it's more dynamic.
Yeah. Look, then I understand what you have to use machine learning or natural language processing as well. And then if that's so, are you using NLP or ML as well, AI?
So AI is a nice buzzword that attracts attention, and it's very important to to have like a data science strategy when you talk to investors, because investors buy the future. And we have some components that we have developed during R&D project last year, and we can talk about it. However, the platform itself, it's built in a way that enables the future of machine learning with contracts. So the way we have built our architecture, we use the format that's readable for machines. Yes.
Yeah.
And this is how it all began from the start. This was our the idea from the beginning was to build a platform that's machine readable, and to build a platform for contracts that can work with AI in the future.
Yes.
But there are many automations that we use that are simple, that are based on decision trees, but they solve a problem. For our customers, this is the most important thing, that it solve a problem.
Antek, let's take one use case. Let's say real estate. In commercial real estate, you have lease agreements, right? And there are whole departments where junior, let's say, like guys, are doing lease terms extraction very often manually. Is this one of the situations where your tool would not only help sign, archive, like interact, share, and so on, but also extract the data? So data extraction, this is something that you can give to clients as well, right?
Yes, this is a very good use case, and I was going to talk about it. Like when you use Pergamin from the beginning, all the data you input, all the contracts you work on have all the data points already stored in your system. So when you need to extract some information from your contracts, you just do it right away. You don't need the whole department who deals with this stuff and analyzes, tons of documents manually.
Yes. After teaching the system, right? After educating the system and adapting to my need and to my, sometimes even legal terminology, dictionary, and my own needs, right? Is that so? Or is it like out of box solution?
It's out of the box. From the moment you start using our templates, because we have a special template builder that transforms a contract into a data-driven, into a data-rich format. Then using this contract builder, you can just identify any data you want. Like we know where is the data about your contractor, where is the date, where is the payment information and the payment fee, and everything is just categorized in the database. Yeah, you can imagine a contract in Pergamin is like a database. Yeah, one contract is like a database.
Take me through the process. I have an agreement template, contract template from my legal department. Do I have to somehow adapt it to your platform, or I just feed it into the system and then the system knows already what to do with it? Or do I have to take data from my contract and then adapt it to your format and to your fields, actually fill the fields, let's say, in the platform? which then spits out a ready-made contract. Yeah.
So so currently it works like this. You use our template builder, or we can help you in building your own templates, because if you have a template in Word, you can have 5 or 10 different templates for one, let's say, for one use case, yeah, and those templates are not really different from themselves. And using our tool, we can integrate those 5 or 10 templates into one modular template, in which you just click the type of contractual term you want to use in this in your specific scenario, and we can build an agreement that's, you only point and click what you want to use in any given case. So currently it works like this. However, when talking about machine learning, we have a developed beta version of our machine learning engine that enables you to quickly onboard into our system, and it allows you to drag and drop PDF of one of your contracts, and then our system using NLP integrates it into our platform as a template. Yeah, it just categorizes the data. It just sees the contractual clauses that are in there, sees the structure of the contract, and then turns it into a template.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to pricing model. So right now on your website, you have a couple of bands: freemium, very limited version, pay as you go, as you say, almost like 1.25 euros, let's say, or 5 zloty per each document, and then a subscription based of what, like between 40 and let's say 200 euros, an enterprise solution. How many paying customers do you have right now?
Right now we have around 170 paying clients. I don't know the exact number because it's changing every day, but it's around 170 currently. It's mostly SMEs. It's mostly SMEs and a couple enterprises. In this whole bunch of clients.
Yes. Okay. And now, as far as the sales process is now already automated, or you have to? So, okay, almost 200 customers, you say, and by paying customers, you mean logos, companies, or number of seats altogether?
No, I mean logos. Yeah, we have almost 200 paying different companies,
yes.
Which amounts to around over 10,000 users, and 10,000 users and 15 to 20,000 of documents created on Pergamin, and the number is, counting.
Okay. And if I understand correctly, your website right now is in Polish only. Is this just because your strategy is to become a leader in Poland and then expand, or is it something that your VCs tell you to do?
So it's not, every VC would like to invest in a global business with enormous scale, and not thousands, but millions of customers. However, we are currently focusing on Polish market because we see a big opportunity here. We see that the amount of the sheer number of companies that are beginning the digital transformation is huge, and we want to learn on the Polish market, and then expand to other markets in the coming years.
Okay. So like a testing ground. And does that mean that your documents and all the turnover documents on the system and the interface and so on is only ready now in Polish, or is it in English as well?
It's also available in English. We are working on other languages currently, because we have clients who are based in Poland but have their contractors in other EU countries. So it happens naturally that we are slowly testing grounds on the other markets for our customers. And this is very cool about our solution, because it just spreads naturally, yeah. Because when you invite someone to Pergamin to sign a document or to negotiate terms of a document, it just spreads virally, and this is a very cool natural way of marketing our product.
Yeah, interesting. And of course, you don't need to be like modest. As far as I understand, you've signed a deal with one of the major commercial banks in Poland, and one of the biggest commercial and residential developers as well. In Poland. So there are already some kind of relevant proofs of concept at big scale as well. I mean,
we have
okay. Mm-hmm.
We have very nice implementations among bigger companies. At the beginning, bigger companies didn't like us, but then something flipped in our storytelling or in our product that made them really interested about our solution. And now we are finishing, for example, a proof of concept with Santander Bank Polska, and we're building a custom version of our platform that's targeted for onboarding of their clients in brokerage, in Santander's brokerage house, and there are a couple other interesting companies that we started to work with, among them Atrium, European Real Estate, and others.
Which is the biggest retail property owner in Poland.
Yes.
And
we started small. Yes, and we like to start small with such clients. We like to start from a small process, or from like with Atrium, we started only with one center, with one shopping center, and then prove our value, prove them the amount of money you can save with us, and the amount of time you can save.
Antek, you mentioned that your first approach was not successful with big clients, and then something flipped. What do you think was the turning point? Why? The product got more advanced and developed for their users. Did you adapt the project, or was it just verbal polishing of your pitch, to those clients? What happened?
I think it's a compound of different things, because first of all, our product developed in the last year very much. It just changed. We added many functionalities that made it more flexible. We made a lot of effort into refining our pitching and our sales approach, because the main problem we had at the beginning was that it was hard for us to explain what we actually do and what value can we bring to your company. And then after many rounds of rejectment, so to say, we just tested our communication, and at some time and one time it just began to work. So
what works best?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what works best? I'm a client. What would you say to me? What are your most strongest 2-3 arguments? What, I save time? Okay, what else?
Okay, so if we were to build a business case for our system, I would concentrate on 3 aspects: accelerating your commerce, protecting against risk, and optimizing your business processes. Of course, it depends on the scale of your organization and on your specific use case for Pergamin, but those 3 things are mostly universal value propositions for our system.
Okay, as far as groups of clients or niches or sectors or verticals, let's say, what are the most promising for you where you are not present yet?
Yeah, so currently we are focusing on financial institutions, on real estate, and on let's say modern energy source providers like photovoltaics. So these are the three like main targets for us currently, and where we are not yet. It's, for example, the legal part, the legal industry. Yeah, we don't have many legal clients. We work mostly with HR and sales departments. So if our product gets mature enough for the legal departments, we also see there a big opportunity.
If your product gets mature enough for legal departments, they will have even more opposition, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of work to do in terms of education and just explaining to people that we're not going to, take their place, yeah, and we are not going to exchange them for our tool. It's like we allow you to work on other types of contracts or to concentrate on other type of work that is more creative, less repetitive, and less dull. Yeah. So we are like your friend, more like your friend than your enemy.
If you manage to convince lawyers to work with you, no other industry will be scary to you. Definitely. Let's move on to round two, competitors. Look, this is a very crowded space. We would agree.
Yeah.
Many companies do parts of what you do. Lots of companies do almost the same. Let me just go through some of them. Pick one and or just compare yourself somehow. And what do you think are your competitive edge kind of advantages? Okay. So there's Close, Contract Book, HelloSign, Legito, DocuSign, Adobe Sign, Euro, Podpisz.to, Polish, SimplySign, and so on and so on. Now, this is not just a plug for them. It's just opportunity for you just to stand out from this pretty crowded space. How are you better?
I would say that our main competitor that you haven't mentioned is Paper, Microsoft Word, and Habits. Okay. So this is like our main competitor. Yeah.
Okay.
But Habits. However, from the group you mentioned, so we can compare ourselves to, for example, DocuSign or Authentic, which are like which focus on electronic signature, but not on data-driven contract management. Yeah. So in terms of e-signature, we see that e-signature has become a commodity, and it's getting it's getting available for free. In many solutions. Because it became a commodity, DocuSign started to acquire other startups to create more value for their clients. But because DocuSign is a very big company, it just fails on integrating those different tools that it bought. So it's still a company that's focusing on a single use tool like e-signature, whereas we give you the whole spectrum with a platform approach. We give you a platform that allows you to manage your contracts from A to Z, end to end.
Fair enough. Interesting. I mean, ambitious, definitely. Fair enough.
Building a platform is always difficult, so we are aware of it. However, we are very motivated to prove that we are not wrong.
Yeah. Okay, clear. Antek, let's move on to round three. Companies' successes and failures in the last year or so.
Okay.
Biggest success. I mean, apart from recent funding round closed, some like business related, okay? Or maybe, successes by the founding team. Biggest success by the founding team.
Yeah, so the biggest successes I would say were how our sales accelerated during COVID-19, because before COVID-19 we were like a nice to have tool to have in your organization, and after COVID-19 started, it just became a must-have. Yeah, and I think we used that opportunity to really gain many clients that stayed with us, and they were just thanks to this whole tragic situation, they kind of seen the opportunity in digital transformation of their contract processes. So this was a big
what do you mean? What do you mean? Like previously, it used to be all like much more frequent. It was face-to-face based interaction about the contract. And right now,
yes.
you digitize, and so when face-to-face communication interaction has been limited, that's the solution needed
Yes.
during this time. Okay, well, interesting. So you would say you are one of those beneficiaries of the COVID time, right?
I don't like to put it this way, but yeah, if we look at the statistics and our unit economics, it just from like since the beginning of COVID, we have just seen a massive increase in interest in our
Okay. What's going wrong? Like let's say most wrong in the last 12 months or so.
Okay, I think there were many things that went wrong. But
come on, the biggest that stays in memory, yeah.
The most stressful was that our funding round was the funding round was the funding round took us more time that we planned from the beginning, and we almost ran out of money, in the bank, and that's the most stressful part, and that's the part when you start to really think creatively about getting money from different places you would never think of, and we made it, so we turned it into a success. But it was very difficult. It was
cool. Okay, let's move on. Speaking of expenses and costs to be on top of, let's move on to company. Round 4, the company. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Company was founded in 2017, and the founding team basically is composed of what? 3 people right now?
Yes.
Yourself, CMO, Jakub Barwaniec, CEO, and Piotr Łuczak, CSO.
Yes.
S standing for services, I understand, right? Services and
S is standing for client success.
Yeah. Okay.
Or client service.
Because and if I remember correctly, 2 of you have some legal background as well, right?
Yeah, the other co-founder, Kuba, had the biggest experience in law. He was a lawyer before joining Pergamin. And my experience with law finished after law studies. When I realized I don't want to be a lawyer.
Very similar case to myself as well. I finished international law just to understand that that's not something for me, basically, to be full-time kind of lawyer.
Yeah, it was the same thing.
Okay, what about the rest of the team, by the way? How many people you are right now?
So currently we have around 10 people on board, mostly developers, salespeople, content creators, and us. But we are, because the amount of work we have to do is just enormous, and we are currently hiring people. We have just hired a new product manager with experience in SaaS businesses, and we're very excited for him to come. We are expanding our product team. We are looking for developers that work in React or PHP. We are looking for content creators. So really, in every area of our company, we are ready to employ new people.
And guys who are looking for, who are watching this podcast and looking for some new challenge, this is a company that just got funded, so they have the money for you guys. How does the recruitment process look like? I mean, what does it look like in the company?
Yeah.
Do you have a specific process already, or is it still like very much intuitive and improvised?
Yeah, so the process started very intuitive, and we are still building it, because we had some hiccups on the road. For example, it's very important, what we didn't realize, to make a background check on your candidates, because
Do you mean legal
sometimes
background, or just checking for references in the previous workplaces?
Legal background and references, both, actually, because
okay.
a candidate can show himself as someone very competent and solve any type of interview questions you prepare for him, but then it turns out that he wasn't really how to say it,
up to the challenge. Okay.
Up to the challenge, yeah.
Look,
so we have like a three-stage recruitment process. It's like the first screening with one of us, with one of the founders, to just make a culture check to find out if there is a match in terms of like normal communication. And then we have a screening with the three of us or two of us at least, because we decide with at least two of us from the founding team. Yeah. There's a screening. There is a part with when we give like something to like kind of a homework to prepare. Yeah. And then we just compare the homework from the most interesting candidates and decide.
Mm-hmm. This homework is related to the position, or the same for every position?
Yes, it's always when you, for example, when you want to work in product as a product manager, you have to think of functionality, new data-driven functionality for our product, or prepare a user flow for some kind of element in the system, and so on. So it's always prepared with the function in mind.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So let's move to the final round then. Formula F3, funding for the future. Okay. And so by now, just in a nutshell, you just closed a seed investment round, I understand. Okay, so 700,000 euros by now. And what runway you try to have this for?
Yeah, so when it comes to best practices, you should gather around like for the next 18 months. Yeah. Mm-hmm. However, we are not sure if this round will last for 18 months. So we signed the contract, we funded the round, and we will start looking for another round pretty soon.
Okay.
So because we plan to gather the next round the next year, and it will be a round because this round is for product market fit and for scaling our sales and marketing. Yeah. But we want to turn our organization into into less sales driven and marketing driven organization, into more product driven organization. Yeah. And it requires recruiting a lot of people to the product development team. But we want to our product to be as automated as possible, to the onboarding process to be as automated as possible. And I think that until the next round we will just come close to the point when we find it ready for scaling for other markets.
Okay.
Currently we are doing many unscalable things as founders. For example, that's a funny example, we still don't have payment automation inside our system, so we are sending invoices manually still, because there were many other more important things to work at invoicing.
This is relatively easy to catch up with. For this year, what's the most difficult challenge you have in front of the company, or you see in front of the company now?
You mean in terms of the end game of our company, or this year?
This year alone.
Okay, this year alone, it's definitely sales. It's definitely sales. It's definitely signing more contracts with our clients.
Do you guys have any exit plan in mind already? Have you contacted DocuSign?
Not yet. However, this is a very interesting. This is a very interesting question, because one of the exits, the possible exit scenarios, is being bought by institutional player from our competition, from one of our competitors. Not exactly DocuSign. There are also many companies on our market closer to Poland that are also dealing with documents, and we are looking in this way. We are also looking at the stock market, Polish stock market, because our new investor, JR Holding, is let's say specializes in stock markets and builds its value around stock. So this is also a possibility for us, and of course some kind of other exit. However, it's a distant future. Now we are focusing on delivering the best contract management tool there is.
Antek, great, thanks. Thanks for the chat. Wish you all the best. Seems like the clear path to the one of the exit scenarios that you have in mind. And if you prefer to ring the bell at a stock exchange, hope you do this as soon as possible. There's definitely lots of competition around and challenges, not only on the Polish soil, so to say, but also in this expansion stage to other markets, because definitely your competition does not rest on laurels, and while you are focusing in Poland, they are focusing in 1, 2, 3 key markets internationally. Wish you all the best to strengthen the team with new hires and expand beyond Poland and Central Eastern Europe as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So we met today a Polish startup called Pergamin, represented by Antek Wędzikowski. The company is developing a contract tech solution, actually, for a wide range of businesses and use cases. Legal agreements and contracts can be a pain in the neck and take ages to get signed. If you both are willing to commit your clients, employees, service providers, and partners to a legal contract, then Pergamin platform promises to become a must-have tool in each tech toolbox of any business. I hope they will become confident enough to expand beyond Poland as soon as possible, not to lose the competitive edge internationally. That's it for now, and there's more to come. Bye-bye.